Okay, we are so lucky that Sadie Trask has deigned us with her presence today. Um, Sadie is, like in every group, there's that person who just like gets it and excels, and like that's Sadie. Sadie will like send me a message being like, "Hey, I have this gut feeling that like I should be doing this way," and I'm like, "Yep, you're exactly right." And so before we even changed the in the listings lab, before we changed the ratio of how much video we should be doing, Sadie messaged me and she's like, I feel like I should be doing more video. I was like, yeah, we're literally in the process right now of like officially changing the amount of video that like the ratio of video. So like she's got a really good feel for this, but she doesn't have like this wasn't her background. Um, Sadie, introduce yourself a little, give people a little bit of background because I think sometimes when we see stuff like the way that I promoted this conversation today, people think that you've been in the business for a million years. And yeah, I'm excited for people to hear from you.
So I got licensed in January of 2022. I'm in Maine, by the way, central Maine. And got licensed and started on a team as a buyer's agent in one of the worst buyer's markets ever. I had like little to no, I didn't really have as much guidance as I probably should have had, looking back. And November, I was kind of feeling I needed to branch off on my own. And so I went as a solo agent and did my first year. So 2023 was my first year on my own. I did 48,000 GCI on my own. And you have to understand in Maine, in my area, the average price point is 250,000.
So if
So
you guys are right now being like, oh my God, business is so hard in my $1 million plus market, she has to do 4 deals to hit your $1 million. So I think sometimes Amy's like, yep, 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 because Amy's also in that price point, right? And so I think sometimes we get frustrated and we don't focus on the things that we actually have that are lucky.
yeah. So then December of 2023, one of the other agents in my market, who I call my real estate bestie, Nick Iskro, we meet frequently to have coffee and just talk about how things are going. Because as you all know, this business is lonely. So we support each other. And he mentioned Jess's teachings to me. And I immediately went home, looked it up, and I was like, I'm doing this, I'm signing up. So I signed up for the accelerated agent in December of 2023, plowed through that and implemented everything. Went through my signature system, built that all up, and then implemented the social media strategy with the 9 content types, was doing all of that. There was times where I would like fall off and not post for a bit, but I always go back to the basics of posting consistently. And back then it was static photos all the time. Video was, I don't remember the ratio, like 20% video. I
Yeah,
don't
it was,
remember what it
and
was.
yeah, yeah, I mean, it was mostly static video. It's so funny how quickly it's changed.
I know. So and my videos back then were very clunky, but I was doing it. And then May of 2024, I was like, I need to take the next step. So I messaged Jess and Carolee, and was like, what's the next step? So they hooked me up with a call to talk about TLL. And I did the call, and even before the call, I was like, I'm signing up. So I signed up for that in May of last year. And my goal last year was to hit 6 figures. And I hit 6 figures by Q3. And
Yeah.
I made a total of 108,000 GCI last year.
In a price point of two, like average price point of 250. So like you can imagine like and like this year she's doing great. She's doing even better. And like, you should see like the for someone like me, like the evolution of her content has been so awesome to watch because she did it even when it, just like she said, she's like, they were clunky. They're not clunky. She's so much more natural on camera. It looks like she is having a great time doing what she's doing. The content itself looks, we all know it's not, but it has this element of effortlessness where it just feels like she's just sharing. And that's what we want because she's just so natural with the way that she talks about things and explains things. So I'm going to skip forward a little bit and I want you to talk a little bit about personal content because there's a lot of people here and I mean, I talk to a lot of people. I've been doing some like one-on-one content audits in the last like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And a lot of people really struggle with the personal content. They're like, I feel safe and I feel more comfortable in the authority content because it's what I know. It's that professional persona that we've all like this kind of like professional mask that we all put on in the first like year or two that we're selling real estate. And then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get everybody to take that mask off. Personal content has really been, I think, the area that you've excelled in even more than anything else. And that's really where you've like gotten the majority of your attention recently.
Mhm.
So for those of you who are new here and like don't really know, how are you are you at 3 million views yet on that?
Oh, I meant to check before I hopped on here. Last night it was almost 2.7.
Okay, so 2.7 million views on this one reel. Um, and guess what? Shock, shock, shock. It was a personal piece of content. And that personal piece of content, of course, because it's always the content that performs the best, that 2.7 million views also led, I mean, at less than 2 million views, it led to a Newsweek feature.
Yeah, it was like right at 1 million when they emailed me. And I was like, is this real? Is this
Is
legit? Is this a
this a
scam?
scam?
Um,
So yeah, so
yeah,
talk a little bit about personal content and how you've kind of gotten yourself to a point where you're like comfortable sharing like that.
yeah. So my first kind of personal content and being very bold in my personal story was when I would write about my like my bio, like my brand story. Um so I got fired from my nursing job. Very polarizing thing. Back in 2021. And I didn't know what I was gonna do. I've been a nurse for 10 years. Um and I did end up getting hired somewhere else. But in the meantime, I was like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, well, maybe real estate, I guess. Looks fun.
How many people have that story? They're like, what am I going to do with my life? I think that was me. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Real estate might be good.
So that was like one of the first type of like, polarizing types of like personal content that I would post. And it's pretty daring to put that out there. And I got a lot of engagement with that content and that, story of mine. And so that was really surprising to me that people would actually, support something like that. Um, and just gradually going outside the box and sharing more and more things about my life and my family. And this one was in March of this year. Um, that I recorded. I think the actual event had happened the week before. And it was a conversation that my mom had had with my daughters. Um, and I was in the school pickup line and I was like, I should just talk about this.
In the
Um,
school pickup line. No overthinking it. No, like she's in her car.
yeah. Some of my best videos have actually been recorded in the school pickup line. So I don't know what I'm gonna do now that school's out, but Um, I just hit record. I like to record one line at a time, because I have that millennial pause, like in the middle of talking. I'll
We
just
all do it. We all
talking,
do it.
think. So I love to do that, and then I go in and I edit it like as close as I can to the next thing, because you have to keep people's attention on social media. So anyway, threw the video up there. I didn't even have that great of a hook, honestly. I just slapped some text on there and let it rip. And I didn't even get much engagement at first, like in the first, like, I don't know, 10 hours or so. And then it just blew up. I noticed that it was getting more views than my normal videos. And I just kept watching it and watching it. And I was like, what is happening? And, you know, a lot of them are like haters, that trolls that come in and comment, and like,
Take
the
a
video was
pause, just
about,
take a pause just for 1 second.
yeah,
Talk about what the video is about, but then talk a little bit about the trolls, because I think that that's a fear
yeah,
that a lot of people have, that like they're like a fear of being seen like that.
yeah. So the video was about my oldest being a rainbow baby. And so we had a miscarriage. Our first pregnancy was a miscarriage. And then my oldest was born. And so my kids found that out from my mom. She just kind of like, I don't know, it just came up. And then she told me, she's like, I guess they didn't know. And I was like, well, I don't care that they know. It's not a big deal. I was going to tell them. It wasn't something that I was like hiding from them, but like, they don't really need to know till they're older or whatever, like whenever it comes up. But they were like so shocked that like they had a sibling that they never met. And I was like, how do you guys even know what that term is? And they were like, Bluey is a rainbow baby. And it was like so cute, because they like were so shocked that they had something in common with a cartoon. And so most of the trolls on the video are like, what is a rainbow baby? And they were mad that I didn't explain it in the video. Um, a rainbow baby is a baby that's born after miscarriage. But like so many of the trolls are like, why do we have all these stupid terms for things? And like, this is dumb, and like all of that. But like, at the same time, there's
Everybody has an
just as
opinion.
right. And there's just as many good comments about people sharing their stories about their families. And like, I just realized that I'm a rainbow baby type of thing. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I think part of it was like the trolls commenting and like pushing the video out more, but like there's so many shares on that video. I don't even know how many shares, but because it's relatable. And that's the type of content that gets pushed out in the algorithm, is people watch your video and they're like, yes, I can relate to this. And they share it with their friend.
Or someone else who's been through a similar thing, that they're like, oh my gosh, like this person is talking about what you've only told me about, or things like that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so personal content is how your stuff gets pushed out to people. That's what they relate to. And then at the same time, I get people in my sphere that constantly tell me, I love your real estate videos. Yeah, I don't need to buy a house right now, but if I did, I'm choosing you because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So someone asked, has it changed the reach on your other videos? Now, before you answer that, I want to just make something very clear. This kind of attention is absolutely amazing. And every single person who watched that video, 2.7 million of them, are not all in Maine.
Right.
Right? Like this isn't like, oh, like all of these people are local, potential clients. And that's the reason why we don't teach how do you go viral on Instagram. right? Because a lot of the people, when you go viral, are not going to be like the right people for from a business standpoint. The thing that's really great about this is that it got PR attention. And she's not the only person recently who's been getting a lot of PR attention. Jacqueline Watson, who is also in the listings lab, she's in Toronto. This week, she posted, I think, something in school, but her social media, because of her niche, she's been interviewed and featured in the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail. Those are the two biggest um, newspapers in Toronto. And it was niche specific. It was because she works with downsizers. And so, we'll do another conversation about her because she got the attention that she got from for the PR specifically from being niche specific in a world that's not. Um, can you speak a little bit to the rest of your content? Is the rest of your content still performing the same way? Has it seen a bump? What happened when you like announced the news or when the Newsweek article came out?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that my videos are getting more views or more attention because of that video. I I would say my videos have gone up in views and engagement, but it's because I spend a lot of time in the thinking about the psychological part of social media and people scrolling. I make sure that I have a incredible hook on screen and um or the first thing I say, actually one of the things I've been doing with my talking head videos is I'll record what I want to say one line at a time, and I'll say something kind of like sarcastic or funny or like quirky near the end of the video, and I'll take that and I'll duplicate it and I'll put it in the front of the video, and that catches people's attention enough so that they'll keep watching it, and then they'll hear that again, and then it will come full circle. So I would say that is more of the reason why my videos are getting more views and more attention. I've gained probably 900 followers from this video, but like they're not, I would say maybe 10% of them are local, if that, but and they're not always engaging in my content. But it's the time that I take to make sure that my videos are scroll stopping.
Yeah,
And
I think that this is a really incredible point. And Melanie's saying, last week or the week before, I said your hooks need to be bangers, even if the video is not. And I think that that is incredibly important. Every single person I've audited in the last 3 weeks, the number one thing that I've told them to work on is their hooks.
yeah,
Because you can create the best piece of content in the world, and if the hook's not great, people aren't going to watch it.
yeah.
Um,
I get
and
my hooks from the list that you made. And then I also get them from other videos that I watch. There's some, like
Mhm.
sometimes I'll scroll across, like I don't follow these people, but like there's content creating coaches on Instagram
Mhm.
that I'll scroll across and they'll have a list of hooks.
And
And
just
so,
screenshot them, use
yeah,
them. But start with, if you're in the listings lab, there is a document in there that I'm shocked more people aren't. First of all, it took me a million years to make this thing. So please, for the love of God, use it. It's like 101 hook formulas. And it's in the program. You can literally just like take it. It's a big Google sheet, and it
mhm,
has all of these formulas. And I created this document from going through thousands of videos and looking at the hooks, thousands of videos that had performed well. So I did the work for you guys. You should just use it if you haven't been. Um, the other thing too that Sadie, I think, is being a little bit humble about is that writing and creating hooks is a skill. So yeah, she's using what I've given her, but she's over time, she's been practicing and she's been thinking about it and she's been intentional about it. And I think that that's the other part that is, I think, different about the way that Sadie approaches things. There's people who go through the program to go through the program. Sadie has become a student of the program. She uses all the tools that are in there. She asks questions, she practices different things, she iterates things. It's not just I'm going through it to tick the boxes. And I knew that for the very first time I met her after she went through the accelerated agent. And I don't even think I'd ever talked to her. And then what I started to see was the intentionality and that she was going through the program differently and the way that I intend it to be consumed is that it's not just like oh I'm going to watch all the videos and hit complete because like that's what certain people do. They're like, "Oh, my progress in the program is lost. I don't know where I am." And I'm like, "Well, if you don't know where you are, like that's a problem that because you're literally just going through the program as if you're just going through the program." Whereas, like, I can guarantee you, Sadie's watched some of those videos multiple times and has gone through the worksheets and iterated them multiple times and, used every new resource that we put in there. And I think that that is really for me what I hope that people will do, but that few do.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah.
made a commitment when I signed up for this that I was gonna complete it. I was gonna do the work, put in the work. I wasn't gonna spend this money and just let it be something else that fell to the side. Um, and something funny about you know, recognizing who I was at Toronto, I was walking at the end of one of the days, I think it was day one. I was walking out behind you and you had looked back at me and I was like, "Oh, I'm Sadie, by the way." And you're like, "I know." I was like, "Okay."
The other thing that I think people don't realize is that, yeah, we've got a lot of people in the program, but I know everybody's name,
Yeah.
right? I think it shocks people on the team. They're like, "How do you know who everyone is?" I'm like, because I don't know. It's one of those things that I never wanted this to get big, like big enough that I didn't know everybody's name, but I did know like who you were and that you were taking this more seriously than other people. Um, which I really appreciated because the results always come from that kind of commitment. How much time do you spend creating content?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Thank you.
I used to spend a lot when I was still trying to fumble my way through it.
Yep.
Um, the AI tools make it a lot easier. Um, and honestly, an idea will pop into my head, and if I don't act on that, either in the moment or like write it down and do it later that day, the sort of like thrill and the oomph with the idea goes away, and then I can't
Yes.
get that back. So if I come up with an idea, I have to act on it, and it's not a lot of time to do it. Like I have B-roll saved in my phone. I videoed myself gardening the other day, and I'm gonna use that. And there's times where like I'll get a little lazy and I'll do too much B-roll and like I need to do a talking head. Um, and so, but even my talking head videos don't take me that long. I just pull up my phone while I'm walking and just record one line at a time. And
And
it's
then you edit in CapCut after, right?
CapCut. I
Yeah.
also really like edits. It's so simple.
If you are in the listings lab or the accelerated agent, there is a new edits. There's a new edits training. We did it in edits and not in CapCut because edits is free. So it is being released on Monday. So if you go to the Monday Q&A call, Melanie was one of the beta testers. It's a great training. Um, if you go to the Q&A call on Monday with Cynthia, she'll walk you through it, but it's very Cynthia did it. It wasn't me. I gave her a list of what I wanted in it and she executed beautifully. And so if editing is something that you feel like is difficult, please, please, please go through it. Do we know if edits made, Holly, I think that until you are the kind of creator who's getting tens of or hundreds of millions of views on a video, the algorithm is not going to prefer where you edited it. I think that sometimes what we do is we get so focused on the wrong things that we were like, oh, which one is Instagram going to like better? Instagram's going to like the better video.
I've gotten caught in that trap before and like overthinking content and what I should do. Everyone has their idea of what the algorithm favors, and you can't get caught in that trap
Yeah.
because
It's honestly, it's a never ending trap. I edit in CapCut because I've always edited, but CapCut's expensive. And so some people don't want to pay for CapCut. If you don't want to pay for CapCut, use Edits. Edits is also simpler to use. It's not as difficult. So if you don't want to pay for something, also CapCut just updated their terms of service and people are freaking out about it because they want to own more within their terms of service. I accepted it, but it's up to you. You can use edits. You can use edits, and it'll do the same job. Where is the best place to edit down a long-winded video into a few videos? You can do the same thing. I would do it in Edits or CapCut. I used to recommend Opus Clips a lot. You can still use Opus Clips, but I feel like if you do it manually, it will be better. But what Sadie's saying is she's not using a lot of tools. She's recording on her phone, face to camera, and then she's editing in CapCut, where again, you can use edits. Super Creator, I love Super Creator. I'm finding that it is a little bit finicky right now. So I'm not recommending it a lot at the moment, only because there's a lot of people having issues with the sound not matching up with their mouths. And I don't know what's going on. They need an update. And for something that you're spending so much money on, it's an expensive app. For something that you're spending so much money on, it should work better than it's working right now. So I used to use it all the time. I'm not using it right now because I don't want to be fussing with it. What I would suggest is use as few tech tools as you can. Just record on your phone. If you really, really need a teleprompter, there is a teleprompter in CapCut. I don't know if there's one in Edits. And then that's it. That's it. That's all you need to do. But you can't copy into it. And I don't know what that means. Oh, like a script. You can into CapCut. You can't talk it in with a microphone. I still don't know 100% what you mean, Anna. Sorry. Should we be worried CapCut might disappear? Nope, it's not going anywhere. CapCut's not going anywhere. TikTok's not going anywhere anymore. I think I have some weird views on what happened that day. I don't think that it was ever going anywhere. So, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just use what you use. And then, hey, if CapCut disappears, then move to Edits. There's always an alternative. The quality of the content, the hook on the screen, that stuff matters. I look at certain people's content and I'm like, I can tell you just from visually how I'm looking at this, that this is not going to perform. There's no hook on the screen.
videos with "Hello everyone,
Hello, everyone.
happy Tuesday."
Or the ones that are like, hey, this is Jess Lenouvel from Remax Bananas in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's like you've already lost them. You don't need that anymore. CapCut will transcribe speech. Oh, so you mean captions? Yes, you can put captions. You should have captions on all of your videos. So whatever you're saying in it, same with voiceovers. Even if you're doing a voiceover video on a B-roll or whatever, it should have captions on it. Everything should have captions on it. A lot of people like to edit in CapCut also because they like how many options there are for captions, like in terms of the style of the captions. But again, Edits does it too. The captions are like the bare minimum. Like putting captions on your video is like literally the bare minimum. But it will get faster. So Lydia's saying content takes you a long time. Number one is it's just not a skill that you have yet. And I say this with like the most love in the world. When you're not good at something, sorry, my nose is itchy. When you're not good at something, it takes a long time. And then the better you get at it, the less time it takes, right? Like, I'm going to give you a really stupid example. When you're learning how to French braid your hair, or when you're learning how to paint your nails, or you're learning how to do your makeup, it takes a long time. You're slow, you overthink things, you have to correct it as you go. Things will take more time. And then once you get better and better and better at it, you will get faster and faster at it. And so all of this really just comes down to the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Okay, we've got some like technical questions coming in here. Are captions best to use one word at a time or 1 to 2 lines? It's your preference. I use one word at a time. Sadie uses 1 or 2 lines. It's preference. Best to have voiceover in B-roll or not necessarily. In B-roll, you should go back and you should watch, Lisa. I did an entire training on Reels and I gave you guys like examples. So every time you do a B-roll reel, you have 2 sound options. You can do a trending audio or you can do a voiceover. Depends on the length of the video. If the video is 7 seconds long, you're not going to do a voiceover. Right. And so it depends on what kind of video it is, what the point of the video is, but those are your 2 options, trending audio or voiceover. So Zach is saying when you get better, it becomes more fun. 100%. When you're bad at something, nothing is fun. Like I use the surfing or skiing example all the time. When you're bad at skiing and you're just like falling down a hill or you try to go surfing and like you can't get up, it's not fun. The fun comes with competence. And the more you do it, the more fun it becomes. Creating content is the most fun part of my business. And I used to hate it. It was a necessity originally, and now it's like the part that I enjoy the most. And I would say like I can tell from Sadie's content that like it was kind of the same. She's like, okay, this is a skill that I have to learn. Now you
Sometimes I have to hold myself back from posting 2 or 3 videos a day. But that's
because
what
you're
stories
excited about
started.
them.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I'm obsessed with that. That made my day. Guys, you can do it. You really can. You can do amazing things. You can get lots of business from your content. Yeah, I think this is just amazing. If somebody if I'm going to call to action right now, just so you know. Sadie came to Toronto and loved it. If someone has not come to an event, would you suggest that they come to an event?
Yes.
That's all you need. We have Calgary and our virtual event coming up. So if you want to come to either, I have a couple of tickets left for Calgary just because we expanded the room a little bit. Send me an email. I'm actually going to give you my other email address because someone told me the other day that they emailed me at one of them and I didn't get it. So Calgary is September 23rd, 24th, 25th. And then I have the virtual event that is September. No, that's a lie. November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Send me an email. Yeah, honestly, we have great people. And I think a lot of it is like meeting people too and being around other people who are going through the same process as you. We are a family, absolutely. So feel free, if you want information about any either of those two events, just send me an email. And if you have questions about anything, send me an email. Don't be shy. Thank you, Sadie. Love you
Welcome.
to the moon. If you need anything, anybody, can we just get a big thank you to Sadie? She didn't have to do this. I appreciate you, and I will email you later with a little gift.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Bye.